Island of Mallorca today. Mallorca takes on Sevilla. Mallorca in pretty good form. Sevilla is not, as Max Bredos and Nick Webster join you today. But Nick, the story about Mallorca, talk about beating some good sides in the last month.
Oh, they've just been sensational. Real Madrid, a 5-1 thrashing, 49-game streak at the Bernabeu disappeared. Then they take care of Barcelona. Let's go to the Mallorca lineup. Leo, Franco, Nadal, Lussenhoff, well, they're pretty leaky at the back, so those guys have got to be on their game today. Marcos surprise, all the flair in midfield, and up front, it's these two, Walter Pandiani and Eto'o. 25 goals between the two of them. For Sevilla, Notario anchors one of the stingiest backlines in all of Spain. Pablo Alfaro, he is a defender you do not want to mess with. 24 times in his career, he's seen red. Victor and Casquero, they are dynamite in midfield, whilst Reyes is the top goal scorer with 7 on the season.
When we return, the first half kickoff teams battling for a spot in the UEFA Cup coming up next. A rainy day here in Mallorca as we prepare for this round 35 clash between a Mallorca side that really has had some amazing highlights this season. Just this past month, beating Deportivo, winning at Real Madrid, at Barcelona. They're in the Copa del Rey final, and they had that amazing winning streak to open the season, Nick.
Well, it's really been a season of 3 halves instead of 2. As you said, they went on their amazing streak, 7 straight wins, saw them skyrocketing up the table, and then all of a sudden the bubble burst. They couldn't buy a win, and they sort of fell and got near the relegation zone. But now they've picked it up once again, and they're in contention for a spot in the UEFA Cup.
Again, in the final of the Copa del Rey, they will play Recreativo on June the 28th, and they could probably get in the UEFA Cup with the right result there. Mallorca certainly in the position they are. If they start next season not in Europe, they have to be majorly disappointed because they are alive and have 2 chances to get it done.
Well, today at home, this is the place to do it, but unfortunately, this beautiful island has been their Achilles heel, Max. On the road, as you've mentioned, outstanding results, but they can't seem to get it done in front of their home supporters. And with Sevilla also pushing for a spot in the UEFA Cup, it's not going to be easy today.
Athletic Bilbao won yesterday there at 51 points for that 6th spot, which right now is 4 points ahead of both Mallorca and Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid also winning last week, so it looks like the rot is over. And then another 3 points back is Sevilla. We're tied with Barcelona.
And at the top of the table, it's still a complete madhouse. Real Madrid beating Valencia, so I can say Valencia are finished. And it's up to Sociedad today. If they win out, they will be La Liga champions.
Here's Antoñito into Leo Franco. We'll update you with what happened yesterday. A lot of enormous results. Rayo Vallecano, Osasuna, that pretty much guarantees Vallecano are going down. Athletic Bilbao, as we told you, this is the team that these 2 sides are chasing. Go by Caranca. Here's Eto'o. On the near side to Riera, local kid, taken by Notario. And there's the Real Madrid result we were talking about.
And guess who got the goals there, Max?
Ronaldo
with a pair. And the Brazilian once again proving that he is the ultimate big game player.
On the left side, Marco Vales runs out of real estate. The other result there, and this is certainly for me was the eye-opener, was Celta 3, Deportivo 0. And that may knock Deportivo out of the title race. They're now 5 points back. Depending if Real Sociedad wins later, they could be 6 points back.
And you've got to give Celta a lot of credit after last week's complete and utter meltdown where they got absolutely spanked by Villarreal, who went and lost to Atletico Madrid. So it's very topsy-turvy in Spain. You never know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, Real Madrid will be there or thereabouts.
Celta now back into the Champions League spot, and I think by the end of the day last week we said, that ain't going to happen. No, but it happened the next week.
Yeah, we thought they were finished, and looked like their club was in complete disarray, but somehow they've managed to find the character and determination to get back into contention.
Sevilla in the white. Defense here. They do have a experienced lot in the back. Alvaro Novo for Mallorca. The right side, Novo again, and an offside on Pandiani.
Well, with all this rain today, Max, the surf is going to be extremely slippery. So it's important that the players test the goalkeepers early. It's always hard because the ball's skipping, and Pandiani's certainly got a nose for goal. And look for him and Eto'o. Their movement is quite outstanding, and I think Alfaro and Navarro are going to have their hands full today.
Antoñito will be teaming up with the very talented José Reyes up front for Sevilla. Reyes drawing a lot of attention from all the bigger clubs who want his services.
Well, he's had a chance to shine this season because Sevilla's big problem this season has been scoring goals. They could defend like nobody's business, only 32 conceded on the entire season, but unfortunately they've only scored 32 on the entire season as well.
That is a dreadful total.
Well, in 34 games, yeah, it's shocking.
And the sad thing is they're better than two sides in that department. Navarro goes into the midfield for Casquero, over to David, formerly of Mallorca. Eto'o with the defense. Pandiani. Novo. Well defended as he tried to elude the mark of David. Headed up by Navarro. Falls for Victor. Antoñito. Away from trouble to Njegus.
And that was nicely done by Sevilla. Under pressure. Good clearance, kept control of the ball, maintained possession, switched the play, and relieved the pressure. Not a fun day to be a goalkeeper though, Max.
No.
They're soaked to the skin, and it's important that they maintain concentration.
Don't really have the endorphins going, you just feel like you're getting wetter and wetter. As Mallorca pushing forward again. And this time, we'll get a free kick.
Yeah, Marcos going down under the challenge.
Out of the reach of Antoñito. Soler to the midfield for the Colombian Lozano. Nadal. Marcos. Riera. Eto'o. Lozano. A lot of movement up front, finally blocked off the foot of Marcos, that time by Casquero. Gallardo. This has been his only club. Vales. Looking for Reyes. Clever little flick on by the young lad.
Oh, it was nice skill by Reyes. The ball came in at an awkward height, and he readjusted, used a little bit of quick feet, little step, and got the shot on target. So can't ask for more than that. And Franco doing the sensible thing, palming it over the top of the bar. And set piece opportunity coming up for Sevilla.
Reyes will take it. Reyes with 7 goals this season. And as Nick alluded to earlier, that's the sad total that leads the team. Cleared away before it even reached the first post by Soler. Unable to keep it in there was Reyes.
Well, it was a poor delivery by Reyes, especially in these conditions. Either go far to that second post or just drive it in on this wet surface and let it skip and bounce and creates havoc for the defenders. but just don't bother dinking it into the near post, because that's the defenders every time.
Njegus on the near side. For Gallardo. Wow, a throw into Mallorca now.
Well, it's going to be important for the home side that Marcos establishes himself in the middle and controls the tempo of the game, because we know Sevilla are very, very hard to break down as Eto'o goes on a run.
He had a rough week last time out. Actually, a rough couple weeks. But you can see he has the explosion, World Cup tested. Remember that Cameroon national team that flamed out of the World Cup?
Well, they have a chance to atone with the Confederations Cup coming up, and they're actually in Group B along with the United States. So that would be a good test for the young US defenders against a player of his quality.
Soler to Nadal, two cagey veterans of Spanish football. Soler at 38, Nadal at 36.
Oh, Nadal seems to have been playing in La Liga forever. I remember him as a teenager.
He actually began his career in Mallorca and then 8 seasons at Barcelona before making way and back to his hometown. Riera. Lozano, member of the Colombian national team in the '94 World Cup. Eto'o. Soler began his career with Sevilla and has played for many other clubs since. Lozano, good tight man marking by Sevilla as they push Mallorca back to the defenders. Riera, moving well.
Good discipline defending by Sevilla, although they've given it away right now.
Lozano couldn't come up with it. Pushed aside by Victor Gallardo. Reyes around him. The far left side was for Marco Vales, left short.
Well, that ball was on earlier, but they waited too long and Mallorca just funneled back.
Flag is up on Pandiani. We will play on.
Like the idea by Eto'o though. Quick early ball, and Pandiani on the shoulder of the last defender, where every good striker should be, looking for that extra inch.
Njegus. Navarro to Alfaro. The veteran Pablo Alfaro clears it.
I mean, look how quickly though Sevilla get players back behind the ball when they lose it. 7, 8 players straight away, and they're not jogging back into position, they're sprinting back, and you've got to love that as a coach.
Okay, getting the better looks thus far. They have a throw-in on the far side. There is Pablo Alfaro, very good defender at 34 years of age. The key figures of this side who plays in, week out.
Well, Sevilla, they're a very cagey team, Max, as we've seen, only 32 goals conceded. So they set their stall out. They keep it very tight at the back. And if they can beat you 1-0, they'll take it. And if you look back at some of their scorelines from the season, that's the most popular one. 1-0 to the Sevilla.
It kind of lacks that iambic pentameter, but we can come up with something. A Sevilla song. Yeah, you look at the Sevilla scorelines, nothing really snaps out at you. Like a lot of dreary results for the most part that they've had to gut out, but they put themselves in a good position on the cusp of making Europe. Here's Soler. You get a corner kick at the very least here. Plays it in. Pandiani. Eto'o. The veteran Soler would not quit. He would not settle for a corner kick, and lucky he didn't. Pandiani flicks it on to the man from Cameroon. Goal number 13.
And all credit to Pandiani. That turn was world class, and that set up Eto'o for the easy finish. And like you alluded to, the cross, it looked like he was going out for a corner. It's whipped in, and Pandiani showing quick feet, sets up his mate, and that's 26 goals on the season. Definite corner kick, you're thinking there, but this is class. Oh, through the legs, little touch with the outside of the foot. And Eto'o, it would have been really easy, Max, for him to blast this one, but he takes a look up, and he just slots it home, side foot style. Wonderful goal.
And Eto'o scores his 8th goal in the last 7 matches, so he has been scorching hot for Mallorca down the stretch here. And when you see those totals, you know that he probably played very big in those matches versus Deportivo, where he scored twice. Also scored versus Real Madrid.
And as we look at the live table, that puts Mallorca just a point behind Athletic Bilbao, if results stay as they are. But still a long way to go in this one. But a great start for the home side.
4 rounds remaining in Spain, including this one. Eto'o. That one gets through for Riera. Does it turn it on? There have been some questions asked of the Mallorca midfield, not an explosive one. Lozano, a good holding player in the back. But they haven't got much from the likes of Riera and Marcos and Alvaro Novo.
Well, I can't believe that call went against Riera right there. But like both players doing a bit of shoving. And the referee deciding the Mallorca players at fault. Nervous moment there for Leo Franco. Wasn't sure whether to stay or come. In the end, lets the ball skip through. And it is absolutely lashing down here, Max. You need your umbrella and wellies today.
On the far side, it was won by Marco Vales, free kick for Sevilla. 2 wouldn't let him get out of the defensive end. It went right through his legs. Njegus stays in the air for a while. Tricky play for Franco, but he gets there. Former Independiente keeper of Argentina.
Well, handling for these keepers today is going to be very difficult. The ball's going to be slippery. And these goalkeepers have got to be sure if they're going to come, they've got to come 100%. There can't be any doubt in their minds. Well, that's a nasty challenge right there. Late whistle.
Lozano began his career as a striker, now defensive midfielder.
Well, he's decided he prefers to kick people rather than get kicked himself.
It's a decision that must be made. Now these conditions just getting downright foul. Antoñito. Nice ball for Vales. Worked by Lussenhoff, flicks it on, will be out of the reach of Antoñito. It will be a Mallorca goal kick.
Clever by Antoñito though. Saw the space. Cheeky little back heel is the last thing the defenders expected. And his teammate Lussenhoff tried to return the favour, and there it is, Max. I'm singing in the rain.
Just singing in the rain. Not a glorious feeling for those keepers.
That is true, and as you can see, not too many fans on offer as well. And Mallorca are really one of the sunny places in Europe, and not getting it today.
Yeah, usually when you go to Mallorca, you don't pack your wellies, as you would put it. Gallardo.
Well, Mallorca with the 1-goal lead. They've got plenty of confidence as we take a look at the goal from a slightly different angle, but this was just lovely. And I'm going to say he meant to do it.
Yeah, who, Pandiani there?
Yeah.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he just may have been downright lucky. You mentioned not many fans out, and certainly in these sort of matches, one of your last 3 home games, you need them.
Especially when you're in this position where you are striving for a place in the UEFA Cup, and Sevilla are just 3 points behind. And if you get the victory today, you're really separating yourself from that chasing bunch, which includes Barcelona, Betis, Malaga, even possibly Villarreal.
Well, Mallorca, after this, in their last 3 matches, have 2 more home games, and it's against Rayo Vallecano, who are bottom of the table, and who probably haven't won in a good 3 months. The other match at home is against Malaga, so if they can hang on to a victory, and hang on to this lead, I should say, you got to like their chances with, in essence, 3 of their last 4 home matches at home. Javi. Riera chasing. Soler. Back to Lozano, who will switch it to the right. Lussenhoff. Novo. Eto'o. It'll just be a throw in for Mallorca.
And good football by Mallorca. And Lozano made that all possible with a wonderful tackle about 35 seconds previously, stealing the ball from Sevilla. And Mallorca playing with a lot of confidence at the moment.
Lozano flicked on. Cut out by Javi. Casquero. Former Atletico Madrid player. Only there for a season. Here's a cross. Nicely stopped by Soler and calmly done by the veteran.
Looks like we got a whistle for offside. Mallorca actually put forward a lot of players there, Max. Left themselves a little bit short at the back. Little 3-on-3 there in the box, and you never want to be man-to-man. You always want to have at least a player extra. Mallorca have got to be careful because Sevilla, they are compact, they are difficult to break down, they do have that goal. Let's not get carried away, they don't need 2. Because we've seen Sevilla, they have trouble scoring goals, so if you can keep it tight at the back, walk out of here in 70 minutes time with a 1-0 win, you've got to be delighted.
That is Javier Moreno of the Catalan Comité.
You do that so well, Max.
Cheers, Nick. Navarro. Sevilla really struggling to do anything right. As we said, no wins in their last 5 matches. Before that, though, they had won 5 of their previous 7 matches. They actually beat Mallorca as well back in January, 3-0. 2 goals by Mariano Toetli.
Toetli today on the bench. Found himself out of favour.
There's a better ball, stopped by Nadal.
Oh, wonderful clearance by Nadal. Reyes was flying along on that right-hand side. And they tried to pick him out, and Nadal read it quite beautifully. And I don't know how Riera's complaining. He's the last player along the line, Max. He's got to see that he's in an offside position. It's tight, but he is off.
With all that space on the near side, you really, there's no excuse for that.
No, he's really got to have a look around and just delay his run, just time it.
Javi. Slotted in for Gallardo, who's offside. And they're having difficulties keeping their runs.
Well, Max, while we've got a little break in the action, the emails just keep flooding in. And this one's from Jay Humphreys in St. Augustine, Florida. As a hardcore soccer addict, I really enjoy your coverage of the beautiful game. Well, thanks a lot, Jay. Here's one for you, Max. It's been quite enjoyable to watch, even if I learned you were broadcasting this a bit too late in the season. For next year, please keep the games on Sundays. Good job, MMR.
This ball for Eto'o. Does he play the volley? Probably should have. Tough with this weather the way it is.
And this one from Jessica Bedwell. She says, is it really true that Max Bredos is the best looking announcer in America? Well, Jessica, I'm afraid it's not true.
What? Riera. In it goes to Notario.
Good save there by Notario in these conditions. Kept his eye on the ball and then slips over.
Oh, the person who wrote this is called Ronald. Doesn't say that, folks. There's an onside run from Gallardo. Away from Lussenhoff. Victor.
And that was better from Sevilla. A little more invention. Good ball played into that far post area as Mallorca got sucked across, and Victor trying the impossible, really. You'd have liked him to drive it. We take a look at Eto'o. Miscontrol from the Cameroon international. He would like that one back. You could see what he was trying to catch it on the bridge of his foot. One of the hardest skills in football, and he nearly pulled it off.
Chance here for Reyes. He squeezes between the defenders. Brought down by Lussenhoff. Tough play to call. It may have been a foul there. But Reyes' speed certainly handicapping the abilities of the referee's assistant to make a decision. Lozano.
No, I thought it looked like a dive, Max. These wet conditions, easy to go down. But keep those emails coming, folks. We love getting them, we love reading them out.
Put away by Nadal, and it was out of play. Another look.
There's a little push there, but I don't think you can give a penalty for that.
I agree, I don't think you give a penalty, but we've seen about the equivalent of that been called. Novo. Oh, there's a good ball. Second effort.
And Marcos, a little bit annoyed with himself. I think he feels he should have done better with the first attempt. We're going to see a lovely slid ball outside of the foot. Catches the defender on the heels, Javi Navarro. And then he thunders it back on the volley. But got underneath it, and that went up to Rosette somewhere.
Marcos, another member of the old guard here in Mallorca. He's 34.
Well, this Mallorca side, they are a bit long in the tooth, Max, but Mallorca is a lovely isle to go and retire at.
They're in the right place. Reyes a bit shooken up.
Oh.
And it was Lozano getting the forearm in there. Not much, though.
No, nothing deliberate about that. Just a fat lip for Reyes.
On the left side, Vales looking for Antoñito in front. It's just skipping along wide. It looked like Lozano helped out his keeper. Certainly that's the way Franco read it.
Oh, how on earth didn't that go in? I was expecting you to scream goal right there.
I was at the ready. Foul there by Victor Salas.
It was a nice move. Let's have a look at this. Decent ball in, creates a bit of havoc. And just sitting at the top of the box was Victor, and his left-footed shot. Inches wide.
It was pushed away by Lozano.
Colombian doing a good job protecting his keeper.
There's the Uruguayan. A lot of South Americans represented on this Mallorca side. And certainly talking about Sevilla, which just hosted, although not the club, the city, hosting the UEFA Cup final, which was won by Porto. It brings back memories of a Cup Winners' Cup final a few years back where Mallorca played, losing to Lazio. They were under the guidance of Hector Cooper. There's Joaquin Capados, the head man of Sevilla.
And that was a wonderful UEFA Cup, Max, and as usual, you did an excellent job.
Hey, thanks.
And an interesting beginning to the second half, wasn't it?
Was it ever? If the halftime show of Las Cacho didn't take your breath away, certainly second half kickoff did.
You don't see that kind of thing on network TV in America. Only on Fox Sports World.
I don't think it's reason to tune in, but certainly there's other things that are on our wonderful network as we wind down the seasons in Europe, and we're just beginning in other leagues. Here's the shot, a little wide, quite long as well, from Gallardo.
Well, Gallardo getting the opportunity because Pablo Alfaro, oh, that is a shocking miss kick. Takes his time. Looks up. And in these conditions, Max, you've got to get the shot on the floor to get the bounce, to get the skip. Anything up in the air is going to make it harder for the keeper. And nice touch there between the two players. Saying thanks a lot, I'll buy you a drink in the bar afterwards.
Or maybe saying, hey, if you didn't get it, I think I would have had it covered. But cheers, big ears. Franco. Slipping in there is Casquero, who was mentioned to be a Mallorca target. Well, that interest seemed to have backed away as the season went on. Antoñito. Salas. Well, cleared away by Nadal. Eto'o. Onside is Pandiani. He wants a free kick.
He won't get one because that was defending of the highest order by Javi Navarro. Just used his body to shield Pandiani out. You could see what he was trying to do, just slip it inside him. Javi Navarro showing good upper body strength.
Nadal kept in and straight to Antoñito. Antoñito cuts in his shot offline as well.
In fact, it was Reyes there blasting it over the top of the bar, and I'm not sure what's going on. Actually, Reyes was wanting the ball inside. As we see Pandiani just muscled out. These players have got to get the ball on the floor when they're in shooting range. And if we can do that, Max, we're going to see some goals. As the rain just continues to pour down.
Amazingly, Sevilla out shooting Mallorca, but trailing here after we played the first half hour. The goal from Samuel Eto'o, who is in sizzling form for this Mallorca side. And that if they can beat the little fellas of the league down the stretch, will most certainly partake in Europe next season.
Oh, and another wonderful challenge by Howard Lozano. That was just a beauty. The second one of the game. He just flies in and takes no prisoners.
He reminds me of Freddy Rincon of Colombia, who was a striker and then became the defensive midfielder and continued his international career and then was able to play at the highest level in Brazil for Corinthians. Here is Soler when he's in attack. Certainly, Mallorca looked dangerous.
Great skill there by Eto'o.
Eto'o plays it back. Now Nadal. On the near side for Riera, defended by Njegus. Lozano. Novo. Mallorca digging their teeth in. Lussenhoff. Another Argentine. We got a Colombian, a Uruguayan, and 2 Argentines in that 11. Franco, 26 years old, really untested in Argentina before making the move to Spanish football. A bit of a surprise, but an everyday starter for Mallorca and coach Gregorio Manzano. Cortés, Lozano, Eto'o. He still might have a chance at this one.
Yeah, clever play once again by Mallorca. 1-2s, that's the only way you're going to break Sevilla down.
Navarro was running at a nice gingerly pace, and then he saw Eto'o sprint, and all of a sudden he reacted as most center backs would, and obstructing the path.
Well, he's a big body, tough to get through. Oh, I don't think the keeper likes that. Sevilla putting themselves under a little bit of pressure there, quite unnecessarily. They get away with that. That was some kind of deflection.
Javi. Salas. Casquero. Sevilla looking to respond here. Reyes, nice ball, onside, Antoñito. Reyes wants it back. Antoñito into the 18. Flicks it on.
Well, nice individual skill by Antoñito. And I'm not sure whether it was a cross-come shot or a shot-come-cross. It's jinked inside. I think he's going for the bender there. Not too far away. Didn't get the curve on it he wanted, but a good idea all the same. And Sevilla having the better of it in the last, let's say, 15 minutes or so, creating more opportunities. That's a shocking kick.
Oh, but he gets a reprieve as it was last touched by Gallardo. Riera. Play on, says Javier Moreno. Here comes Sevilla again. That one left short. And by Cortés, who has something cooking on the right side. Knocked away by Javi. And now back and forth we go. Vales. Reyes. Swept under. Free kick.
Yeah, Reyes can't have too many complaints there. Looks like he got a lot of foot. Excuse me, it was Reyes who went down. Riera with the foul.
Javi. Vales. Midfielder from A Coruña. Antoñito again finding space. Reyes moves in. Antoñito again taking the shot. Bit greedy guts there.
Yes. All credit to him. He's creating chances for himself. Maybe in these conditions, start drilling the crosses in low, hard on the floor. Defenders hate it. Panic sets in. Deflections, skips, nicks, anything you call it. And it could end up in the back of the net, so maybe he shouldn't be quite so greedy.
Marcos committing the foul here. Njegus. Gallardo has a chance still. Only quelled by Cortés. Eto'o the target, headed down by Alfaro.
Good work by Alfaro. Eto'o swept wide left. And that had gone over the head of the defender, they would have been in big trouble.
Riera. Oh, playing possum there a bit was Njegus. Lozano, straight on Pandiani. Marcos. Novo. Crunching tackle by Javi. It deflects straight into the path of Antoñito. Surrounded by Mallorca defenders, nowhere to go with it.
Oh, and that's a poor ball. And Mallorca look dangerous when they play these little triangles at the top of the box. It's something they should go to more often.
Riera. Soler around here, corner kick.
Yeah, good defending by Javi Navarro. Had no choice. Couldn't take any chances, didn't know what was behind him. And you've got to love that little dinked-in ball there. It's got a little bit of curve on it. And that's the sensible thing. Knock it out for a corner kick and give your side a chance to get back and get organised.
Javi Navarro, formerly of Valencia, actually getting a call-up for Spain. A month ago is over the back. Goes Lozano, showing his striking skills, but drawing the whistle.
He rose nicely and got a thumping header on target. It was cleared off the line. Didn't see by whom. He's not really using much of his arm. It's a good clean header, actually.
Gallardo, as it took the deflection off of Soler. Casquero. Vales. Turning out of trouble, the shot again wide. And as we have played 40 minutes here at the Somoy.
That was a nice turn by Victor, but he couldn't get the shot on target, and once again we're seeing the ball balloon in the air instead of pinging down off the turf, and looks like a couple of the fans have had enough.
That is one dreary sight. Kind of hard to drag yourself out of the house when it's raining like that. But the match must go on.
I'm surprised that the pitch is holding up so well. We're not seeing any puddling at all.
It really is. Fine irrigation system in place here at the Somoy. It's a pretty new venue, inaugurated in 1999.
Javi Navarro once again, yeoman's work on the defensive end, along with David.
Oh boy! Just like that, Antoñito slides in and has got Sevilla level.
Yep, a chance out of nothing. Lozano losing out on a tackle for the first time today. Ball was swept to the right-hand side. Back it goes into the middle, and Antoñito, he'll be very happy with that. And Lozano looks like he's in trouble as well. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. See, Lozano's gone for the ball. He's won it. Oh, and then he's tripped. I'm not sure who it was. Reyes up. Gallardo with the ball in there. And I'm not sure about the colour of the card, Max. If the referee takes a dim view of this, it could be red. Nice finish by Antoñito. No chance for Franco. And Antoñito very happy about that. As Sevilla get a equaliser on the road.
Very late in the game, they're at it for more. Reyes. Just the yellow card for Lozano. Back at the 18, Reyes with the touch.
And I feel bad for Lozano. He's had A really nice game in the centre of that midfield, and it's the first mistake he's made. And it's cost him a yellow card, and it's cost his side a goal.
Hey, finally a goal somewhere else. Espanyol up on Alaves in a relegation 6-pointer.
Oh, and if Alaves don't get the win today, Max, I think they're done, because there is a gap developing between the bottom three and Osasuna. Oh, and this is trouble, and he's off.
Whoa, things have just gotten rotten for Mallorca all of a sudden. And Lozano promptly picks up the first 2 yellow cards of the match.
And it's a flashback to last weekend, Max. 1 yellow card, seconds later, boom. And Harold Lozano, after pretty much dominating the centre of midfield, I can't say he's going to take an early bath today, because, well, he's actually soaked the skin.
And you see players frustrated from an earlier decision.
Oh, and he's late.
He's late into the lower back. I mean, he kind of withdrew the cleat, but still, you're asking for trouble when you make a tackle like that.
No, Moreno, the referee, he's got to show him the yellow card. And it's really a bit silly, because now he knows that he's on a yellow. He's got to stay on his feet. And in these conditions, it's vital that you stay on your feet. But no, he goes sliding in. Out comes the red, and now Mallorca, after a great start, have conceded a goal, and they're down to 10 players.
And losing one of their key players indeed in Harold Lozano, who was winning them a lot of ball. 2 minutes of stoppage time to ferocious finish here in Mallorca.
Well, what that's going to mean is Riera is going to have to drop back, and his marauding runs down the left-hand side. Always an attacking option, and we won't see so much of him.
Oh, almost over Lussenhoff's head. It hits the deck, the turn. Amazingly how things have changed here. Mallorca up 1-0, cruising along, looking forward to a schedule down the stretch where they're playing some of the lesser-known sides in Spain, and now Sevilla get level and are up a man after the red card. And this coming after they were starting to show some life.
Well, it just seems to me that Mallorca have lost their composure in a 3-minute madness spell. And it's really going to set them back, playing 45 minutes in these wet conditions where the field's going to be very heavy. The legs are going to get tired in that second half.
Flag up this time on Antoñito, who thought he was en route for goal number 2.
And the crowd getting all excited now. Antoñito's messing around.
Away by Casquero, looking for Reyes, Soler, Lussenhoff. Nadal hanging further back. That's the end of half number 1 of the Sunmoiks. Some fireworks to finish the first half. Samuel Eto'o's goal in the 14th minute, answered by Antoñito in the 43rd, and a red card to Lozano, complicating Mallorca's plight. It's 1-1. Back here at Sunmoiks, ready for the second half of this UEFA Cup battle. There's a goal scorer for Mallorca, Samuel Eto'o. Rain slowing down a bit, we hope. It remains like this. Glad you could join us. This is round 35 from La Liga. I'm Max Bredos along with Nick Webster. And there's some great races everywhere. Look at this. Antoñito at it again. Didn't strike it well.
Oh, fantastic opportunity for Antoñito. In the opening seconds, could have put his side 2-1 up, and he wouldn't be smiling about a young man. Should have tucked that one away. And with 45 minutes to play, Sevilla with a man advantage. You've got to fancy their chances, because they're very well organised, very hard to break down. Mallorca will be on the back foot, and Sevilla should be creating more opportunities, as we see Reyes. He's got tapped on his nose, and now he's gone down like a sack of spuds.
Just saw how Antoñito's had 5 shots on goal.
Oh, I don't blame him. He got Nasty shot with the shoulder there. Nadal, vastly experienced. Thou shall not pass is his motto. And Reyes just ran straight into the motto.
Reyes just 19 to Nadal's 36. 40 yards away. Reyes plays it. Nadal got a piece of it. Reyes receiving it way back. Looking like a right back for a moment. Through the legs of Soler. Reyes disrupting, gets the ball right back for Sevilla. Into the midfield for Victor Salas. Vales.
Well, what we're seeing, Max, is Pandiani's dropped back into more of a midfield role due to the sending off, and Eto'o's going to be up there foraging on his own.
Sevilla with a great chance to get back in this UEFA Cup hunt. Antoñito. A point doesn't do much for either side, in particular for Sevilla, who would probably see their UEFA Cup hopes disappear unless they get the full three.
Yeah, you're right on there, Max. But I tell you what, if they get the 3 points today, if they can get their noses in front, due to the fact that their goal difference is exactly even, they could in fact move above Mallorca and get very close to Atletico Madrid. So the onus is on them now to come out, get some goals.
Offside on Antoñito, who's had as many offsides as he's had chances. Well, you mentioned Atletico Madrid, worth mentioning again. They won 3-2 yesterday. 2 goals by Fernando Torres.
Oh, look how close that one is. You've got to say he's on. And that's a fantastic ball slid through by Victor.
Pandiani. Gallardo. Njegus. Throwing for Sevilla. Sevilla really overshadowing city rivals Betis, who have just fallen off the map after competing for a Champions League spot. And those two city rivals tied on 44 points coming into this round.
You're right about Betis. With a team with all the quality they possess, it's been a disaster season. Is it Nadal called on the foul? Yep. Antoñito goes down, and it looks like the experienced Nadal will enter the referee's notebook. Oh, come on, Antoñito, stay on your feet.
Well, he hit the abort mission button.
Oh, he just collapsed there as soon as he felt the contact. And I can't believe Nadal got the yellow card for that.
You figure all those years of service would be worth something.
Well, it's like in the NBA, the stars always get the calls, correct?
I wouldn't really classify Antoñito the star. Oh, you're talking about Nadal. Yes,
absolutely.
You're right. Well, it doesn't apply here. Sorry about that, Nick. Sorry about that, Antoñito.
Look at Antoñito.
I saw the one, a cheeky smile.
He's definitely got a cheeky smile. He knows he's pulled one over on Nadal.
Still can't get the smile off his face. He's very content with himself.
And a great little cameo between the two players. Different expressions on their faces.
No one played a cross, whipped in. It was Casquero.
And finally, we see a shot driven low on the turf, and look what happens. Panic. And they get a corner kick out of it. They've got to keep that up.
The far post, it's open. This time Marco Vales, who actually scored the game-winning goal in Sevilla's victory at Betis back in March.
Well, he did well. He found a yard, got in front of the defender, but just couldn't direct the header goalwards. Good run though, timed it well.
It's a handball. Well, Sevilla aside, looking to return to the glory years of the 40s where they were Spanish champions once. And also won a Copa del Rey in that decade. Spent a few years in the Segunda División. Also a team that featured briefly Diego Maradona in the 80s. Actually, that slipped into the 90s. Pandiani mishits it. On the other end, Mallorca aside that only in their 17th year in first division play. In '97, they were pulled out of the second division, and in the 5 years since, they have finished third twice, finished fifth once, got to a Cup Winners' Cup final, and put themselves amongst Spain's elite, looking to get back in Europe. Lussenhoff with the foul on Antoñito, who is getting all the calls.
He certainly is, the youngster with the cheeky grin, and he'll have another one on his face after that as Lussenhoff takes him down, and another yellow. Yeah, another yellow card coming up. But I think those two third-place finishes for Mallorca, they were definitely overachieving those years. They don't have the squad really to compete with the top clubs in La Liga. And I think Antoñito's conned our referee, Mr. Moreno, again.
I mean, there's nothing cynical about that foul. It's both center backs now picking up yellows, adding to the disarray created by the red card to Lozano at the end of the first half.
Well, and the thing is, they're not bad challenges, and now these players have got to be so careful for the remainder of the half. Otherwise, it could definitely be a repeat of last week with the team down to 9 players, and this is a great opportunity coming up for Sevilla.
Gregory Manzano not at all amused. He smells a rat.
No, I don't blame him. Work for Leo Franco. Is he up to the task?
Reyes, 2-1 Sevilla! In the 54th minute, their second unanswered, and they've taken advantage of the booking situation of Mallorca, 2-1.
And Mallorca should feel very hard done by. Didn't look like a free kick. Moreno gave it anyway. And Reyes doing the smart thing, all credit to him though, keep it low. Oh, he takes a skip. And Leo Franco guessing to the left-hand side, completely wrong-footed. And that just goes to show you, Max, accuracy before power. Reyes didn't try to blast it, he just passed it into the back of the net.
That's really poor wall construction by Franco, as a yellow card now for Antoñito.
And it all seems to be getting out of hand at the moment, and it's not been a dirty game, and the yellow cards are flying, and everyone's getting their knickers in a twist.
Riera, 10-man Mallorca now looking to make up a goal. Lussenhoff. Flicked over there by Marcos. A foul there by Victor Salas.
Well, this is where Mallorca really have to make things pay. Anytime they get a set-piece opportunity now, got to get some players into the area, because it's going to be very hard for them to create chances from open play, down a player.
Into the 18. Eto'o touched away by Javi Navarro. Soler. Soler has played with Espanyol, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Zaragoza, and Sevilla, now Mallorca. He's been around the block. Alavesa pulled one back.
Antoñito wandering again into an offside position. Got to watch that line, especially when you can see it from one side of the field clear across to the other.
Notario. Haven't mentioned his name all that often. Njegus blocking the path of Riera.
And I feel if the referee's going to be consistent there, he should give a yellow card for that. Njegus went up with the elbow to block the path and no action taken.
Soler. Riera to Eto'o.
Oh, and the Cameroonian's done absolutely nothing since scoring the goal.
And a loss there by Marcos. Here comes Sevilla. Gallardo's cross. Franco punching it into his path. There's some space here for Mallorca. Reyes. And another yellow. The sound of the champagne bottle being uncorked occurred at the tail end of the first half, and boy, has it been flowing ever since.
Yeah, it was a nice passage of play there. Both teams going at it hammer and tong, and Reyes making really no attempt whatsoever to play the ball. And that was a legitimate yellow card. And he doesn't seem too bothered about it.
Riera has Eto'o. Can't lose the mark of Njegus, but he does get a corner kick.
Well, the rain seems to have slowed down a little bit. And now it's time for Mallorca to try and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Pandiani's got to become more involved, as of Marcos picking up the slack.
Waiting for that ball was Nadal, and the shot well wide. Alvaro Novo, not to be confused with 80s super musician Aldo Novo.
Here's Reyes. And you could almost see that he saw Franco cheating.
I mean, there's a big gap there. When we saw that replay, it showed you what Reyes was looking at.
Well, Reyes was obviously looking at a huge hole and thought to himself, you know what, the ball deserves to go right there.
Reyes in the corner. He and Antoñito are really playing well right now.
Yeah, the two of them, they've got something going. Both young players willing to try different things, full of confidence. And both possessing cheeky grins.
Yes. We have played an hour. Sevilla taking the lead here moments ago.
And that was wonderful skill by Cortés. Twisting and turning his way out of trouble. What's this one there? Whoa! Lovely. And then just dragged down.
For a two, but ends up with Notario. Soler. Balls for Antoñito. He couldn't win it back. He remains on the deck. Mallorca will play it out.
And Antoñito seems to be in some pain this time. Looks like, I think it was Nadal who sorted him out, yeah. And there didn't seem to be a lot there, to be honest with you, Max.
Oh, still a step on the ankle. And I think Nadal's at wit's end with our friend Antoñito. Little respect for seniority there from Antoñito, which you almost need to have in his situation. Soler. Flag is up on it too.
Eto'o's just got to become more active at the moment. He's standing on the line, just waiting for the service to happen, and because of the 10 players, he's just got to drop back a little bit more, come searching for the ball rather than waiting for it to be delivered. Nicely done by Sevilla there. Neat triangles.
And he pushed forward through Vales. Now Gallardo. Lost briefly by Salas. He wins it back, and now he flicks it onto the right side, charging forward Njegus. Not bad by the defender as he tries to loosen up the defense of Soler.
Oh, how he got that ball in, I have no idea. Looked like he had way too much pace on it, and he managed to whip his foot around and got a decent ball into the box. Excellent play.
Pardon me, Nick. Cortés. Right up the guts for Eto'o. Pandiani. Eto'o! Eto'o! Oh, almost. What a run.
And once again, Eto'o and Pandiani, anytime these two are involved, playing these little triangles at the top of the box, good things happen for Mallorca. And Notario, very brave. And I think Eto'o thought the ball was out before he tried his spectacular bicycle kick to try and save it. But that is their best chance since scoring the goal in about the 12th minute of the game.
Sevilla were trailing in possession early on, but now lead in that category. Navarro. Casquero. Gallardo. Reyes. Cortés needs to get rid of this one. He does. Patience pays off as he finds Nadal.
Yeah, it's very calm play there. Nicely done.
Novo. Coming in hard, diving carelessly. Lucky not to draw the whistle there. Going to be played out by Sevilla, and we will tend to Alvaro Novo.
Well, that was a solid challenge by David. Clean, hard, fair, but he went in with 100% commitment. Oof. That's just like running into a brick wall right there. And Novo getting the worst of that.
Neither team making a substitution thus far, but we may require one here.
Well, Sevilla are smart. What they should do with the man advantage, Max, is just keep possession. We've got a wet field, wet pitch. It'll be heavy. And just make Mallorca run. And sooner or later, they're going to get tired. And just like we saw last week, it gets so tough to play down a man, and sooner or later, spaces open up, and Sevilla will have a chance to increase their lead.
Free kick for Mallorca as they continue to maintain the balls here. Looking to get level. Pandiani for a 2. Almost reached it.
Nice idea. Quick free kick. Pandiani managing to get the ball across. Eto'o just not quite strong enough.
Novo trying to get back on. He's finally waved on by the referee.
Mr. Moreno not endearing himself to the home faithful today.
Solid. Marcos. Sevilla throw. And you can see Gregorio Manzano voicing his displeasure with the refereeing crew.
Oh, and I don't blame him. He's the home team. And it seems to me that every call that matters in this game has gone against them.
Sevilla trying to keep their UEFA hopes alive. Mallorca, for some reason, they stubbed their toe in league, do have a chance to qualify for Europe through the Copa del Rey, which will be in the final against Recreativo on June 28th. We told you about the mighty scalps that they have taken in league play, but keep in mind, also in Copa del Rey, although it was against a watered-down Real Madrid team, they knocked them out, and they knocked out Deportivo in the semis. To say you've beaten those two teams twice in a season is quite impressive.
It's a case of they managed to raise their game for the big matches. Over the course of a season, some of the smaller teams that they've had difficulty with, and that's, at the end of the day, could cost them a spot in the UEFA Cup. And like you said, they're meeting Recreativo in the final, and that's a potential banana skin for Mallorca.
Amazing that a team like Mallorca could find themselves out of Europe after all the wonderful things they've done, winning at the Bernabeu, winning at the Nou Camp, winning at Betis, also beating Deportivo, and a team like Recreativo could just sneak out of relegation and find its way to Europe after being the bottom team pretty much all season long.
But yeah, that result back at the end of April against Real Madrid, really one of these shockers of the season. I mean, how do you go into the Bernabeu? Real Madrid unbeaten in 49 games there and destroy them 5-1 is just amazing.
Here's the ball for Eto'o. He's in. Eto'o. That one blocked there by Alfaro. Cortés almost hit the corner.
Oh, and it looked like Eto'o was in for a second. His first touch, just not good enough. And Notario doing well on this effort from Cortés that looked like may have caught the far post, and who knows, could have bounced in.
A couple substitutions preparing to come in for Mallorca. Alejandro Campano is one. Carlos Dominguez, the striker, is the other. 20 minutes to go. Riera. That one into Nadal.
Oh, and a lovely header by Nadal. That's the way to do it. Any of you watching at home, power into the ground, ball skips. Excellent save by Notario. That's 3-4 quality saves in the last 10 minutes. As Mallorca showing signs of life. Eto'o finally moving. Pandiani involved. And the home side showing some character.
This time at the far post, they drag Notario out. They'll get a third corner kick.
And I'm not sure about Notario coming that far for it. Would have liked one of his defenders to be there.
Riera. This one over the crossbar. So they got good value out of each one, but not able to get the goal. And now Gregorio Manzano will make some changes.
Well, you got to think that they're probably getting tired in midfield. So get some fresh blood in there. And Riera, who's works tirelessly down that left-hand side, takes a break. Does Lussenhoff. So Mallorca going to go to 3 at the back now. Push an extra player up into midfield. And I think Pandiani will push on as well.
Campano will come into that midfield alongside Marcos. Carlos will go alongside Eto'o at the top. Campano also began his career at Sevilla. Carlos, back to Marcos, free kick Mallorca.
And Marcos just battling away, showing a bit more strength and getting his ankles tapped from behind.
Here's a chance. Carlos was in, the keeper way up his line, the ball knocked loose. Ends up with Nadal. Notario looking shaky the last couple minutes.
Yeah, he's come a long way for that. And Mallorca really going for it right now. They're expending a lot of energy, pushing players forward. Got to be careful here, Max, that they don't cough it up and get caught on the break.
Eto'o curling away from Navarro. Eto'o, oh, plenty of contact there.
And I've no idea why they're giving Eto'o such a hard time.
Pablo Alfaro took him out, it appeared.
Oh, definitely. Made no attempt to play the ball.
Oh, is there going to be a yellow for a dive, too?
Well, there's going to be a yellow
for one of the Mallorca assistants.
Yeah. I mean, from my mind, that looked like a penalty. See if we can see the replay. It's all getting very hectic right now, and the fans are getting into it. It's really bubbling up.
Carlos, that one blocked. For Marcos. Whoa! Quite a tumble and no whistle for that.
I don't think there should be.
Well, I think Carlos was backing into him. Here's it. That's playing the man.
That's playing the man. There's no doubt about that. You can't tell him to get up. I'm sorry. Pablo Alfaro just took out Eto'o. And that should have been a penalty kick. No idea what's going on there with Notario. Quite a bizarre sequence. And this has just been Mallorca's luck all day long. They have not got one single call.
Marco Vales, I'm sure, had the wind knocked out of them after that tumble. The Brazilian Daniel Alves will be coming in. Carlos didn't like him on his back, just kept moving backwards.
Well, I don't think Carlos deliberately undercut him. And Vales just climbing high, landed heavily on his back, and like you say, probably had all the wind knocked out of him. And we all know that's one of the most horrible feelings. As Daniel makes an appearance. Sevilla sportingly giving the ball back. Excuse me, made that Mallorca.
Pushing forward, free kick, Mallorca. They will not go quietly here. A point would be pretty handy, especially under these circumstances, playing with only 10 players. Marco Vales still smarting from that fall from heaven.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mallorca, they're having a little spell, but can they make it pay? Eto'o wants it.
And it was Pandiani skying for it. Whip to the near side. Campano. Cortés for Eto'o. Knocked away by Pablo Alfaro.
And Eto'o really into this game now after being the invisible man since scoring the goal. Last 10-15 minutes, he's really up for it.
Antoñito, his first touch in a long time. Marcos. Ooh, out of play off the foot of Campano.
I mean, that's got to be obstruction at the very least.
Golet, who by the way is filling in for the suspended Poli. Carlos. Campano, the two substitutes here on the near side. Carlos pushing forward, has made quite an impact since coming in, but that ball out of play. Or was it?
Yep. Goal kick coming up. Carlos going one-on-one and just knocked the ball too far on this wet surface. Ran out of real estate. And Sevilla will be slowing this game down to a crawl right now with just over 12 minutes left. They are in the driver's seat. They have the extra player. And they want to take all the momentum away that Mallorca have built up over the last 10 minutes.
Gregorio Manzano. The coach, by the way, been here now his second year. Led Mallorca to a 16th place finish last year. Not good. They barely survived the drop. Much better here in 2003. Campano. Cortés. 80th minute. 2-1 Sevilla. Mallorca opens the ledger with a goal by Eto'o in the early minutes of the first half, but in the dying minutes of the same half, Antoñito scored, and then Reyes from a free kick in the first few minutes of half number 2. Harold Lozano, the midfielder Mallorca, red carded. Oh, nice run by Pandiani. Finally cut down.
Pandiani's got lovely quick feet. Anytime he's surrounded by players, always shows a little bit of magic, a little bit of something special. And if you can do that in the final third of the field, Mallorca will have success. You don't really want him dribbling around the center circle. Here we see, oh, it's lovely little skill. Oh, that's beautiful, Max.
Probably still be with Deportivo if not for the fact that Mackay and Tristan would have warranted most of the key matches and most of the playing time. Mallorca very happy to have the Uruguayan. I'll tell you what, Deportivo could have probably used him yesterday.
Yes, that is a devastating blow to their championship aspirations.
And a couple goals by the Brazilian Eto'o and a goal from
Jesuli.
Marcos. Njegus.
Mallorca still pushing forward, still have belief. Can they get that one golden opportunity that you know will happen in the last 10 minutes? Because there's always a good chance in the last 10 minutes, isn't there, mate? Every game we see.
That one lifted up by Pablo Alfaro, gets it to the near side for David. And gets the victory against his former team. Reyes, great ball. It's crossed. Antoñito! 3-1 Sevilla! The counter-attack got him!
And the cheekiest grin in football does it again. His second goal of the game. And Mallorca sliced open as they're pouring forward in search of an equaliser. Sevilla bite them, and bite them hard. Nice little finish for the build-up to this goal. Absolute brilliance. Outside of the football, that's the one that made it. And that's not too shabby either. Right in no man's land. Franco has to come for it. He can't get there. And Antoñito, good skill to take it round Franco, and then just slots it away. And that, my friend, is game, set, and match.
Well, Sevilla had 29 goals all season 2 weeks ago. In their last 2 matches, they have now scored 6. So the goal-scoring machine finally kicking in. Second for Antoñito. Reyes has the other. Reyes had 2 last week. And what a important victory for Sevilla when it didn't look like it was going to happen as they get the 3 unanswered goals. There's the cheeky grin. We see it again as Antoñito will step aside.
Well, it looks like there's a nice partnership developing between Antoñito and Reyes. And if they can keep that up, who knows? Because Sevilla now, their goal difference is +2. Well, that's better than Mallorca's. And Atletico Madrid, they're +3. So they're just behind Atletico by 1 goal. So that final UEFA Cup spot, I mean, it's going to go all the way down to the end of the season.
Argentine striker Mariano Toetli, who seems to think his future is secure here in Sevilla. They'll need him because my guess is Jose Reyes will not be with the side next year, especially the way he's playing right now. Real Madrid has shown interest, certainly Barcelona. Valencia, another side.
Well, when the big teams come calling, it's very hard to say no.
They usually get their man.
Yeah, and especially with European football going through a little bit of a cash crisis. Anytime you get offered large sums of money, players usually depart.
So Barcelona winning their match, that's going to throw their hat into the UEFA Cup ring. They're at 44 points coming in, tied with Sevilla and Betis. So both those sides, that shot goes well wide off the foot of Njegus.
So basically we're going to have 4 teams on 47 points, just 4 points behind Athletic Bilbao.
Athletic Bilbao really aided by a Mallorca defeat because it gives them that 4-point cushion now, although it's against 4 different teams. But with 3 rounds, 4 points is a pretty handy lead.
And it's a shame for Mallorca. They were really having a nice spell of it, trying desperately to get back into the game, and they got the sucker punch. And with only 10 players, I don't think there's any way back for them now.
Striding in for Reyes.
Oh, clever reverse ball. Nearly came off.
Chasing is Carlos. Campano into Eto'o.
Oh, and all credit to Campano. That must have been close to an 80-yard run. He puts it inside to Eto'o. Looked like it took a deflection from the Cameroonian.
Sevilla next week will be at home to take on Recreativo. As this corner comes in. Oh, it's cleared off the line barely. And boy, has Mallorca really come close to getting that second goal. Again, just denied.
An appeal of Manu there. Looked like there was some chest. Maybe just a tad of arm.
Right in front, looking for Pandiani. Taken by Notario. Mallorca will stay home to take on bottom of the table Rayo Vallecano. Pandiani. All right, to flex. Kept in by Notario. In the 88th minute, Mallorca still not quitting as they are at halftime in Huelva.
Well, the way Mallorca are playing at home, Max, I'm sure they'd love for their last few remaining games to be on the road, because that's where they've had all the success this season.
Here's that third goal again. Great ball, and we forgot to mention, really, from the Brazilian Daniel Alves. Brave effort from Eto'o. He is red hot right now, scored again this week. And he'll look forward to getting some more goals to see if Mallorca can, in fact, make the UEFA Cup from league play. Antoñito.
Sounds like a cartoon character.
Exit stage right. We always have some challenging names, I know, in this league. I've noticed you've avoided mentioning number 5 for Sevilla, Njegus' name.
Rubbish.
Well, there you see the man, Antoñito.
Involved straight away. And his first bit of action is sliding around, so he's sure to be nice and wet for his 2 minutes on the field.
Joaquin Caparros is going to make another change. Out comes Francisco Gallardo.
A good solid game by Gallardo. Redondo comes on. Not the Redondo you may be familiar with Real Madrid, though.
This is Juan Redondo.
No relation.
David. He'll play it forward, but offside is Daniel Alves. 90th minute here. Only stoppage time to come.
What's the guess? 3 minutes today?
Sounds about right. I don't think I've got one of those right in about a couple months. Offside now on Tooney. Tooney, a 20-year-old local kid.
And yes, he's off. Oh, 4 minutes. Not enough time for Mallorca, unfortunately.
Certainly, Eto'o gone. Don't see it happening. Sevilla playing with a man advantage, and it's paid off. They were able to get goals 2 and 3 with the player advantage. And the ball goes straight to David. Redondo. Espanyol stretching out and looking to once and for all get into safety.
Should just about do it. 3 points will take them up to 42, and I'm afraid, what's the song we sing, Max, about Alaves?
Somos dos, somos tres, solo falta Alaves.
Yeah.
But you know, 3 words. Doesn't really apply to them now as they will be probably joining Rayo Vallecano in the second division next year. The relegation picture has really cleared up the last 2 weeks. Alaves not dead yet, but them and Recreativo trailing Osasuna by 4 points, and Osasuna really the only team they can catch at this stage. Osasuna played yesterday 0-0 with Rayo Vallecano. Recreativo is losing right now to Barcelona. Pandiani in front of him. A lot to run there for Pandiani. Has been here the whole length of the match. Gonna flick it back in. Tell you what, all the races in Spain, a couple of weeks ago we were raving about how they were so tightly contested. They've all cleared up a bit. Celta Valencia still only 1 point in it as that shot goes high and wide. But Athletic Bilbao has stamped themselves in the UEFA Cup with a 4-point gap. And we told you the relegation picture, and it looks like in the race for the title, Deportivo's hopes are probably gone, and we'll see what Sociedad does later.
Well, Sociedad, I mean, they simply must win today. And they're running, not easy. But if they can get maximum points, they'll be champions, and wouldn't that be some story?
Here's a cross for Tuni. Taken on the far side by Redondo. We're about to have played 3 minutes of stoppage time, leaving us with that single minute.
Oh, and I like what Tuni's done so far. He's only been on the field 3 or 4 minutes, and he's had some electrifying runs. You have to ask yourself, why wasn't he starting? Got quick feet, much like Pandiani.
Redondo's cross, stopped by Soler. Campano. Carlos. 30 seconds left. Tuni. That one stretches for Pandiani. Not much he can do with it. Flick it back. Pandiani shot. Well struck. Covered by Notario. That is the end of the match. Mallorca jumped out to a 1-0 advantage, but it was all Sevilla after that, and they throw their hat back in the battle for the UEFA Cup. 3-1 the final score. We'll be right back after this.